Reese and Dylan are not experts, and none of their claims can technically be proven. Also, would the NSA please not tap our phones? We talk about some pretty weird shit. This is the Foil Hat Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to the Foil Hat Broadcast. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Reese.
And today...
we're talking about Area 51.
It's been a while since we've talked about alien stuff, and I think, after doing the research that we've done, it's still going to be quite a while since we've talked about alien stuff.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the UFO stuff is there, but, we did the research, sort of, and... there's not a lot to do with aliens aside from those autopsy videos, but those were more connected to, like, the Roswell stuff, too. You ever see those autopsy videos?
Yeah, but aren't they just...
they're faked.
Yeah, they're not
They're
real
known
at
to be
all.
faked, but, I mean, that's still a part of our thing.
But they've also said that, that's an interesting point you brought up.
Okay.
All of those autopsy videos and just, like, alien interviews or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
they always say that it was at Roswell, you know?
Yeah.
In that area, or it was in Area 51. These same videos, whether they be fake or real, usually fake, tend to be in all of the places at the same time.
Yeah, they're sort of sourced at 100 different places. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that alien interview that we just watched.
Yeah, that one was really cool. I think it was probably more just like a video that someone wanted to do, if anything. Which I would watch a whole show like that.
Oh yeah, it's excellent. And if you guys are interested in
I can put a link in the thing.
Taking a look at it, we will put a link down below.
I'll put a link in the show notes.
Interesting little it's a interview with a creepy alien who knows the secrets of the universe.
Yes. And the twist will shock you, BuzzFeed. Hashtag BuzzFeed.
Oh my god. Speaking of, my mother watched our last podcast.
Right.
Listened to our last podcast. And she absolutely adored my little rant on BuzzFeed.
Did you? Okay, cool.
She was rewinding it and listening to that part over and over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's true.
It's so true.
It's very true.
Ban them from what? Why are we banning men? Why?
Don't ban men from the space-time continuum, BuzzFeed.
It's not specific enough.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Area 51 is an Air Force base in Nevada. Mm-hmm. North of Las Vegas.
83 miles.
83 miles west? Northwest of Las Vegas. And is most well known for sightings of UFOs, among a lot of other things, but mostly UFO sightings. But a lot of the stuff that I looked up, after the Freedom of Information Act was brought forth into the world and made law, there was a man, I forget his name, but in 2005 he filed for a request for information, and in 2013 the U.S. government finally came forward about a few things, namely experimental aircraft that were being developed there.
But weren't you telling me that the government had never acknowledged it at all until they requested the information? Yeah,
so Area 51 is just... It was a leaked name, from what I understand. Like, there was a bunch of different names for Area 51, but they didn't ever refer to it as that because it had its own government name. Area 51 was just sort of a nickname that I think it was referred to in, like, one government document that was leaked, but it's not the name that they usually referred to it as, because I think they called it, like...
It's the Air Force Flight Test Center Detachment 3.
Yeah. So Area 51 is just sort of the name that stuck.
Well, they call it that because it's placed...
It's a grid system.
It's a grid system, and that the little area that it's in that grid...
is the 51st.
Is just, it's just listed as
51st
51.
Grid. Yeah.
So it's literally Area 51.
Yeah, it is the 51st area
and it's the 51st
in the grid.
Area
but they didn't, so the government never acknowledged it.
No.
Until 2013. And even after they did, for like the first time publicly saying like, yeah, it's there, we did stuff, we did airplane stuff. They still didn't give it an official purpose. They never said, like, this is what the base was designed for and what it does. They just sort of released, like, here are some things that happened at the base, and they never flat out said, like, this is what it was for.
Well, I mean, that's where all the loopholes come in
Right.
regards to the Freedom of Information
Act.
Act.
That just seems like bad PR. It's like, now you're just making them more suspicious of you by not saying these things. But, yeah, lots of planes. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm looking at you, you're just like, that's gonna kill you. I'll tell you what's gonna kill you.
The double shot espresso?
The double shot espresso combined with a bunch of Red Bull.
This is how I live. I either murder myself with sugar and caffeine, or I fall asleep during anything.
Should we come clean? It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. But positive news in the long week, right?
Positive news. My sister graduated from high school.
Yay!
So congratulations to my sister, Casey. You're an adult now.
Good luck with that.
No one knows what they're doing. Fake it till you make it. That's the advice I can give you. Follow your dreams.
And people who say they know what they're doing are lying.
And to all of our viewers who have graduated from whatever you have graduated from today, or this week, or this month.
Congratulations.
Congratulations within the vicinity of this year's graduates. Whether it's just high school, or maybe you actually got like a degree in something. That's pretty cool. I haven't, but I'm getting there.
You're awesome, and you're working hard, and you're kicking butt at life.
That's how you be an adult.
Keep progressing.
So yeah, it's been a long week. We're a bit windy down today.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it going though. Let's talk about aircraft. What do you got on aircraft?
On aircraft?
Aurora or something.
Aurora, yeah. So the Aurora project.
Yes.
So, like we were saying, many of our national defense planes and other aircrafts are thought to have been built and tested in the large area above and around Area 51.
Yeah.
Which is believed to be an underground base.
Well, yeah, there's a couple theories. Okay, can I tell you about this?
Please.
Okay, so one of them is the pretty standard one that I think we all sort of think of, which is like, it's just a massive underground complex. It goes down like 40 flights, 40 stories, into the sub-basements. Another one is that, like they had these like sort of like shelters on wheels. Because there would be flyovers, you know, like whether it was like civilian or military or government or
like
satellite imagery. And so they would have, they would have these giant shelters so that if there were any experimental aircraft that they were testing at that moment, they could just roll them in to hide them from any imagery that would come from above. Which is weird because I don't know if you've seen any pictures. Usually, at least up until, I guess they said like, oh yeah, it's there. You couldn't get pictures of Area 51. Like they would, on any map, on any satellite imagery, it would be like cut out and obscured.
Really?
Yeah, like they didn't, it was a secret base. It's a secret high top security military base.
So getting like those government documents where it's just like black Sharpied out specific things?
Yeah, but with maps.
That's so strange.
Yeah, they didn't want anyone knowing that the shit was there.
But that's so crazy, and that's what makes it like them talking about it finally in 2013, finally acknowledging that
maybe they don't do anything anymore.
The base.
Anymore.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
Let's everyone focus on Area 51.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there anymore.
We've moved to a mountaintop in Montana.
It's a secret base inside Mount Everest.
Why would that not surprise me?
Because our life is a Bond movie.
Oh my God.
But some people over the years, thousands of people saw UFO sightings over the years in and around that area. But most of them were probably experimental government aircraft, which a few have been declassified by now, which includes the Oxcart project, which I think, because the Aurora is one of them that they talk about.
Yeah, and they look a little spaceshipy.
Yeah.
It's good for, what was it?
Because when I first read about Aurora, I think that's where a lot of the theories come from, is that all these stealth bombers and Mach 6 aircraft like Aurora are all they were all created using UFO technology. That's the big theory behind Area 51.
Reverse engineering.
It was a reverse engineered UFO craft turned American stealth plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the Aurora project is actually one of the most well-known and most talked about aircraft.
Yeah.
And it's allegedly the fastest aircraft ever created, with the ability to reach speeds up to Mach 6 about 460 miles per hour.
Okay, jeez. All right.
400. I am so dumb because it's not 460 miles per hour. It's 4,600
That's better.
miles per hour.
That's a bit faster.
A
bit? Yeah, 10 times faster, in fact.
Yeah.
I can do math.
That's an insane speed.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Well, and we were talking about this earlier. If you take a picture of something like that, it's
Yeah.
gonna look like a UFO.
Like a UFO. This is my theory, right? Because especially back when cameras weren't that good, and people always had like these pictures, and they look like flying saucers because those like fast-moving blurs just kind of look like stretched discs.
Yeah.
Right? And so my theory is that a lot of the images weren't UFOs, but probably just blurred, if they were anything at all, blurred aircraft that were being tested.
Unless that's what they want you to think.
Unless that's what they want you to think, in which case, I want to believe.
I pretty much already.
I mean, I
believe in
think
aliens.
I believe in aliens too, but I don't know if Area 51. Well, that's the thing, though. We keep talking about this as sort of like the mantra of conspiracy. It's like the less proof there is, the more likely it must be there. But I don't know.
But I mean, that's that kind of don't trust your government mentality.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
where because it was talked about so much, and everyone's like, "There's totally aliens in Area 51," but like, there's no documentation of it ever. Like, no one ever talks about it. No one ever says anything from that area. No one just says, "Hey, crazy, we don't talk to aliens." Like, what are you talking about? We're testing planes.
We're testing planes.
Like, is this a joke?
Yeah, well, I mean, you also have to remember that a lot of the stuff cropped up during the wonderful period that was the height of the Cold War, where you can't talk about that stuff because anyone could be a Russian operative.
Well, it's not the Cold War now.
No, it's not the Cold War now, which is why we got the information that we did. Which even then isn't all of it.
Wasn't... Yeah, exactly. It wasn't all the information. It wasn't even enough information to really satisfy the curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, because we were talking about Project Blue Book.
Yes.
Which could be a cover-up. Could just be a bunch of government people. Essentially, Project Blue Book was a program that underwent by, I think, mostly Air Force people. They were basically going from town to town in the region going like, okay, who's seen UFOs? And then they checked out every story that they could find and go like, yeah, that was probably us. That was probably a U-2 bomber or an Oxcart project. So they're just like, all right, check off the list, not a UFO. Which makes me kind of think like, if you knew all of them were secret government planes and so they were yours and you didn't care, why would you go out to make sure?
Right?
Like, unless, of course, it was either a Russian aircraft or a spacecraft. What if some of the UFO stories were true, but they got lost in the mishmash of all the fake ones, or not the fake ones, but the misguided ones about United States aircraft?
I buy it.
Right. Also, the Oxcart project, which was another tested plane, I don't think its final name was Oxcart, but that was the project title. They look kind of spacey because the sort of front and the shape of the plane is, you think of like fighter jets and like high-speed jets, and they have the very like elongated tube, very aerodynamic. This one is a bit like broader and flatter, almost disc-like. That's the one I showed you. That's the one I showed you, right?
Yeah,
it looks like almost like a knife head point.
That's a spaceship.
Yeah, it looked like a spaceship. It looked like a spaceship.
It was a spaceship.
So maybe they could be reverse engineered. Who knows? I don't know. I like to think that could be a theory because this Roswell has a huge connection to this. Like when we talked about Roswell, we were like, okay, they dragged the bits off to whatever base was closest to Roswell at the time.
The next state over.
But I've also heard stories like those remains were transferred to Area 51 later to do reverse engineering and autopsies and things, which is supposedly where those autopsy videos came from. You can Google, the whole Area 51 or Roswell autopsy videos.
Yeah, they're not real, but...
I'm squeamish. I'm like hella squeamish. Like, I can't deal with autopsy stuff. Yeah, I can't. I can't do it. I don't like gutsy gore.
It's not real.
I know it isn't real. It doesn't... But like... Neither is the fucking slasher movies from the 80s, or neither are any film that you see. They're not real, but they're still gory.
Fair.
I don't like it. I'm a little bitch.
Yeah.
You want to disagree with me there? You're just like, yeah, you are. Totally.
Well, I mean, in regards to that.
It's like, well, I guess that solves that.
Day, you said it.
I mean, I did. But, so that's a lot of aircraft stuff.
I mean, what it is it's an air base, right?
It is an air base. It's an Air Force base.
That's
the
so, like,
most reasonable explanation you can have. But, of course, it doesn't just stop with the UFOs.
Oh, of course not.
There are some weirder things that went down, supposedly, in good old Area 51. Please do.
Okay. According... Nope.
Accordion.
So...
Yeah, don't try to read it. Just sort of like just go off of what you have.
I try because like I'm so
script.
monotone right now.
Yeah,
I'm like just like exhausted and not. So I'm like,
we gotta power through this. The listeners are depending on us.
But that's why I'm like trying to according.
Yeah, but then you sound like you're being held at gunpoint to try to deliver this information. It's like they slowly start to theorize that it's like I think the government knows. Like, I think they're trying to shut up our favorite podcasters. We can't have them talking about this shit.
Oh my god, can you imagine if we were...
Oh my god, Dad, stop texting me the same thing over and over again. I don't know what kind of cheesecake I like.
Why is he making cheesecake?
Or buying it. I don't know. It's cheesecake.
It's cheesecake.
It's cheesecake.
It doesn't matter what flavor you get it, and it tastes exactly like cheesecake.
Well, I mean, there's like, you can have like a drizzle, like a strawberry... Or maybe like a mousse.
So like cheesecake?
Yeah, it's all cheesecake, but the contents matter.
Yes, the contents, while they vary...
Do you not like cheesecake?
No, I have no problem with cheesecake.
Oh.
I love
cheesecake.
It's just like, it's the contents, while they may vary, you still taste essentially cheesecake. That is the base flavor. If you make it with chocolate mousse or with strawberry drizzle, the base flavor is cheesecake. And therefore you shall always taste cheesecake.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's what I don't think he's asking me to redefine what makes cheesecake cheesecake. I think all my dad is trying to ask is what kind of cheesecake I like.
Well, what kind of cheesecake do you like?
I don't
Answer
know.
the man.
I don't know. I like all sorts. I don't even know how to answer that question because like name your favorite kind of cheesecake.
I don't have one.
Yeah, so
I guess
that's all I got.
But I don't have one because they all taste the same to me.
You're not a fan then.
It's not that I'm not a fan because I can enjoy a nice piece of cheesecake.
My mom makes a mean cheesecake, man.
She seems like she would be like a good baker.
She's good when she wants to be, it's just busy work, so we're just like, once in a blue moon we'll make something. But
it's good for the soul to cook.
It's good for the soul. She likes cooking, but baking takes forever.
It does.
So, especially cheesecake.
Cheesecake. It's, I don't know why this bothers me so much. It all tastes the same. It all tastes the same. You know why? Because it's just made with cream cheese.
But
that's the baseline flavor.
But sometimes they've got Oreos in them.
So you taste cheesecake with a crunch of Oreo. Like it's still cheesecake. It's no matter what you put in it or on it, it's still just gonna be cheesecake. Like different types of cakes in general. Like a chocolate cake is chocolate. A vanilla cake is vanilla. There is a difference. This is all just cheesecake. I think I'm losing my mind.
Let it be known that it wasn't the alien conspiracies that killed the hosts of this show. It was the great cheesecake debate of 2017. This is going fucking yes, all of this into the show.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. I mean, I would concede this to you. Cheesecake is in fact made with cream cheese. But they do have different tastes.
I'm not repeating myself. Oh my
Hello
God.
and welcome to the... Hello and welcome to the Cheesecake Broadcast.
Oh my God.
I was going to say like foil cheesecake, but that's too many syllables.
Ugh. My abs.
It feels
Or
good
my
to
lack
laugh,
thereof.
though, right? It's good. They're all... Labs are always there. Labs.
I'm-
Labs are always there.
Labs.
Your chest is full with small Labradors.
I'm losing my mind.
Well, let's get moving back.
Okay.
We
So,
were talking weather control stuff.
yeah. So,
Okay.
according to a National Science Foundation report, the U.S. military engaged in Project Cirrus, a research effort in the late 1940s and early 1950s to find a way to modify clouds
Okay.
to use rain, or maybe a lack of rain,
To cause droughts.
as a weapon.
It's a weaponized weather system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not God.
Are we not?
No.
No. Okay. Just checking.
We can't control the weather.
No. Well, not yet.
Can we not do that?
We can barely predict the weather, so we're not quite at that level of technology yet.
You see, like, but what freaks me out about even just the thought of that is it getting into the wrong hands,
Well, we are talking about the U.S. government,
right?
but because that's a fearsome weapon. You can just cause a drought and just like starve thousands of people, or fling a fucking hurricane at them like a giant discus thrower.
Hurricane in Kentucky, unprecedented.
It's like that Pajama Sam game. Did you ever play Pajama Sam? I'm talking to no one here. There was
What?
like an edutainment game when I was a kid. It was called Pajama Sam.
I'm looking this up.
And it was what was it
that's
called?
the first thing that came up.
Thunder and lightning aren't so frightening. And Sam wanders into basically heaven, which is run by the personified aspects of thunder and lightning. And he accidentally destroys the factory that creates all weather on Earth. And so there were like snowstorms in Egypt and tornadoes in like Antarctica.
It's Pajama Sam 2, Thunder and
Yes, it
Lightning.
was the second one. The first one is the one with darkness, but I can't remember. Don't be afraid.
No need to hide
when it's dark outside.
No need teeth to eat our beef.
Pajama Sam was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. This episode's getting away from me.
Yeah.
But I just want to express my love for the Pajama Sam games and the Spy Fox games and all the humongous entertainment games. But I don't know why. No, because we were talking about weather control. So Sam destroys the weather, and you have to put it back together with logic puzzles.
Okay. But this is like real life, and we don't
Whatever!
we don't have logic puzzles.
I was just trying to
Well, I
fill
mean,
our
I
running
guess so.
time, but fine.
I suppose that there are logic puzzles in life, but let's try. Like, I don't want people controlling the weather.
Okay.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But apparently Area 51 was developing such a weapon. Or tool. But weapon.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
It's weaponized weather. There's no two ways about it.
It's fucked up.
It's mean.
It's yeah.
It's just mean.
Although it could be used for the greater good. Like California, which never gets any rain.
Africa.
Oh, bless the rain. Hey, and if we could control like weather, we could probably also control climate change.
That might help.
Yeah, we're all doomed.
Yeah, but still. Okay, and also, so between...
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's more.
There is.
Between 1962 and 1983, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration ran a project called Storm Fury.
Are you shitting me? Storm Fury?
I love it. In which scientists tried to use cloud seeding, which is essentially just dropping
It's like chemical.
dropping crystals into clouds to cause rain.
Yeah.
So they did this in order to slow hurricane winds, but without success.
Well, it was completely unsuccessful.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that sucks. But that does actually remind me of the black helicopter thing.
Does it?
Because to go back to the aircraft thing. I don't know and if our listeners have heard of the whole black helicopter legends, but they're essentially like silent government helicopters. Like stealth helicopters, like the Black Hawk helicopters. But they were used... one story said that they were like seeding clouds. So they were trying to affect the weather. They also had a chemical that could defoliate entire forests, like wipe out all plant life and a majority of animal life in that area.
Because that's what we need.
Yeah, and also they would abduct human people and exchange them like to alien UFO crews for experimentation.
You see, I feel like people would volunteer for that.
Like, take me to the aliens.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be cut up and bisected on an alien autopsy table.
You don't. There are some I would bet my life that there are some crazy people out there that's like, well, if there's one way to go.
I may as well have a good story to tell when I'm dead.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be cut up, whoever has the knife. That seems kind of terrifying.
I mean, regardless of the dissection, I think it's shady that you're just kidnapping people.
Yeah, the government.
This is unconsenting.
They're like those black windowless vans, like the government drives, except they can fly.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's kind of messed up.
It's so messed up. And how do they get the people? Like, because they don't
They're
have
stealth
beams.
Helicopters.
They still have to land, right?
Yeah, but I imagine they would target, like, really, like, rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
So a helicopter swoops in, the government agents jump out, grab people, and get back in, take off.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. And they're they're stealth helicopters. Mm-hmm. So they can't be... It's hard to pick them up on radar, and it's hard to spot them in the air, especially at night.
I don't like any of this.
No?
Nope.
I think it's really creepy and cool.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrifying.
But if you don't trust our government already, now that you have the black helicopter thoughts in your mind, can I also tell you that President Eisenhower may have met with aliens? Okay, so this one I only found like one little reference to it, but I have to share, right? So, according to the Area 51 mythology, the lore, I don't know what you would call it, it's also a big center for the Majestic organization, MJ-12. So Majestic 12 is a shadowy organization of scientists and military leaders established by Harry Truman following the Roswell incident in 1940... What was the year? 46? 45? Something like that? 48? 54? Somewhere. So after the Roswell incident, Harry Truman essentially decided to create the Majestic 12 organization.
47.
47. I think I dodged that one number. I was 45, 46, 48, 50, fuck. So 47. So it was designed by Harry Truman, and it was essentially a board that would be given complete authority over experimentation on aliens, recovery of crashed UFO facts, anything, alien in origin, extraterrestrial, and that was their thing. Now, according to this one little bit, the Majestic 12 met with alien life, alien extraterrestrials, had a meeting with them, and President Eisenhower, and so this is, 50s, I think? I forget Eisenhower's tenure. They met with the aliens and negotiated a truce. And here, the agreement was this. The aliens could abduct, they could do cattle mutilations, they could perform experiments on human beings, and the government would turn a blind eye in exchange for receiving alien technology to further their weaponry and technology in the country, to boost us into the future. With future tech from spaceman, the government sold us out to the aliens.
You see, there's pros and cons to that. Don't kidnap people, don't trade, it's not cool. But I can kind of understand that I don't want to say desperation, curiosity and intrigue.
Right.
With new, exciting technology. I can sympathize with that. I don't think that we should trade lives.
Lives is a bad idea.
We should have lowballed them and just given them the cattle. We don't need more cows.
Why? Okay, can we just drift on this topic for a little bit? Why cows?
They got big dumb faces and no one will miss them.
Oh, I guess we solved that. All right.
And they had a bunch of stomachs, which I feel like would be very interesting to
Maybe cattle stomach is like a delicacy on their world, and they're like, we need them, please give it to us.
We need all the cow stomach. Extra cut, please.
What planet country are these aliens from? racist
Krakozia.
stereotype country.
Oh my, this is a Russian country for sure.
Gazublagas.
It's Krakozia. Have you seen The Terminal?
What's the terminal?
It's a Tom Hanks movie. He's from Krakozia. This is a war-torn country that he can't go back there because it's a war-torn, and his passport is no longer feasible because it's not a country anymore, and he's stuck in the airport.
Because his country no longer exists.
Yeah. That happened on the plane on the way from his country to America, New York City, Broadway showcase. It's a great movie.
That sounds fantastic.
It's really funny and like sad and good, and it's
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks.
And Tom Hanks.
It's Tom Hanks. He's amazing.
I've seen one bad Tom Hanks movie,
which was
it was not even good enough to remember the title.
Well, there you go. So I guess we solved why aliens like cows somehow. Yeah. We talked about black helicopters. Mm-hmm. What else has gone down?
There's a former scientist.
Okay, cool.
Who claims to have worked within Area 51. His name's Boyd Bushman. Great name.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this one. Okay.
He gave an interview with engineer Mark Patterson just before he died. So Bushman died very, very shortly after giving this interview. The video is now deleted, so it's just gone into the void.
Where was this? Where's the video?
It's just gone now.
Okay. So it was... Okay. Oh.
I think it was like... Because this was before YouTube.
Right, so it was just like a tape someone destroyed.
Was it before YouTube?
Or was it on Laserdisc?
Oh my god, do you remember Laserdisc?
No, I don't, because I wasn't alive.
No one used Laserdisc.
No one used Laserdisc, we just used tape.
I remember VHS.
Yeah, VHS was the way to go.
I remember Blockbuster on a Friday night.
I remember Blockbuster any night, and it still looked like a garbage can.
Yeah, but movies and
video games.
And all the video games. You had to rent video games. If you didn't beat it within the week, then you're screwed. You can't. I
rented Mario Party 5 like a dozen times. Why didn't I just buy the game by that point? Here, tell me about the scientist.
Okay. So the video is now gone. It's just vanished. Bushman claimed that he specialized in reverse engineering, so that was his whole game, and that's what a lot of, like, all of these aircrafts are supposedly all reverse engineered.
Yeah,
like Aurora,
that's the idea.
And what was the one you were talking
Aurora,
about?
Oxcart, possibly the U-2 stuff, maybe the black helicopters, who knows? Like, a lot of this, any aircraft that was developed in Area 51 was theorized to be made using reverse engineered UFO bits. Mm-hmm. So...
he also described the secret military base as hosting aliens who come from the planet.
Can I try this?
You got it.
Quintumnia. Well, actually, I don't know why I'd be spelling an alien word. Quintumnia. Quintumnia. Which is probably just like, if it is an alien language, just phonetically written. So they probably don't know English.
This
isn't Stargate.
What that would sound like?
Yeah. This isn't really the way it would be pronounced because your human vocal cords can't make the sound. Oh. But this is about as close as you're going to get. Quintumnia. I can't even say it. Your earth tongues are weird. So go ahead.
So, Bushman claimed that there are two groups of aliens. One group are the Wranglers, and the others are the Rustlers. I don't like those names, but okay. And the Rustlers are the ones who are the stealers of cattle.
Right.
The two groups act very differently.
Okay.
And the Wranglers are much more friendly and have a better relationship with the humans, or the U.S. government in general.
Right. So, I mean... It doesn't really say if they're different species or like just like maybe they're like two different like nation states on Quintumnia.
Like Democrats and Republicans.
Space Republicans eating our cattle.
That's where I was going to.
Yeah.
It's like get the Okay. Words escape me.
Yeah.
Give the crazy Rustlers the cattle and the humans. Let them go away because otherwise they're going to destroy us. and we'll just talk crap about them behind their backs with the Wranglers.
Here's the thing. Did the humans come up with those two group names, or did the aliens already have names for Rustlers and Wranglers?
I'm gonna guarantee that's some, like...
That's an American-sounding thing.
Some buck-toothed hick. And
that's the Wranglers and the Rustlers.
You say, these guys Wrangler.
I'm sorry to anyone who comes from...
Unless you're a buck-toothed redneck, you shouldn't be offended. Right?
I guess. I don't want to call anyone a redneck, because who knows?
Yeah, it's a stupid name. Rustlers and Wranglers.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the same thing. Isn't that just the same thing?
To rustle and to wrangle. Here's the weird part. Why are we calling them Wranglers when they're the ones that are talking to us?
Yeah, shouldn't they be the Rustlers?
What is to rustle? I want to Google rustle. I love how when I try to Google rustle, the first thing that comes up is rustled jimmies. To rustle, a verb. Make a soft, muffled crackling sound like that caused by the movement of dry leaves or paper, or round up and steal cattle, horses, or sheep. So the rustlers, actually, that is a very accurate... What is wrangle? What is to wrangle? They mean the same thing.
A dispute or argument, typically one that is long and complicated, or have a long, complicated dispute.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe these names do make sense in some weird way.
Alright, but I thought that they had a good... they're much more friendly. Why would they have a long and complicated dispute? With whom?
Maybe.
Unless their long and complicated dispute is with the Rustlers.
Then why are they allowed to come here?
Why are they even talking to us? What do we have to anything? What are we going to do?
Cows. Evidently, Quintumnia has a huge, like beef deficiency. Like, we're the only ones that... That's what it's called, right? Quintumnia.
I know, but that's just like, apparently Quintumnia has a huge beef. It's just the weirdest sentence. What are you talking about?
I didn't make up this name.
It's just nonsense.
It's just nonsense words.
Much nonsense words. That meant less than nothing.
That somehow meant negative sense. That meant less than 0 cents. Negative sense.
Quintumnia, and your very, very two-sided planet.
Two countries, Rustlers and Wranglers.
Two houses
is it like
divided
a Western
amongst themselves.
Are they like space Westerners or something?
Right? This is like I said.
Like the aliens came down with their 5-gallon hats or 10-gallon hats. Or maybe that's how you show rank. How many gallons can your hat hold? I don't know where this is going.
Is that why they call them 10-gallon hats?
I don't think so, because I don't think they hold 10 gallons. I don't know why they're called that. They just look big and dumb, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry to anyone who wears 10-gallon hats.
This is 2017. Why
don't wear 10-gallon hats. Do you have anything?
Are you a sheriff?
If you're not a sheriff, you don't get to wear the hat.
Unless you're a sheriff of a 2-horse town in the middle of nowhere with a saloon, a hotel, and a brothel. And those are the buildings.
And those are the 3 buildings in that one town. Everyone lives and works at the hotel.
And the brothel.
And the brothel.
You don't get to wear a 10-gallon hat. That is reserved for the sheriffs that wear the star badges.
The sheriff of nowhere.
And the cowboy boots with the spurs.
Yep. Do you have anything else to talk on? Is that good?
I feel like I do, which is weird because I didn't have anything.
We talked to Aurora. Oh, Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Let's talk Bob Lazar.
So, 1989, a man named Bob Lazar, or as we call him, Robert Laser.
But Robert Laser. Bobbert Laser.
Bobbert Laser claimed he'd been hired to work briefly as a researcher at a part of Area 51 called S4, which was so secretive, he and the other workers were taken in a bus with blacked out windows so they couldn't discern the route. In the hangar of S4, Lazar claimed he saw alien ships that were powered by antimatter reactors, fueled by a reddish-orange substance called Element 115.
Element 115.
Which is a real thing, right?
Element 115, if that isn't just a code name. Element 115 is a real thing, but it wasn't discovered until recently. It is, atomic number 115 is Moscovium, or Moscovium. It's Moscow. It's named after Moscow. And it was first synthesized in 2003 by a joint team of Russian and American scientists in the Joint Institute of Nuclear Research. It's a radioactive sort of element.
The reddish orange substance.
I don't know what color it is, but it would make sense to be powered by like a super rare and something that we've only just recently been able to create. Like that would make sense.
It does make sense.
Although it's not, it's Moscovium. Why would we use Russian stuff in our fuel tanks?
You see, now I'm starting like learning more about the Moscovium. I'm starting to buy into Bob's little tale.
You think they were experimenting with
Maybe.
like highly radioactive? Well, I mean that would make sense.
Well, I mean, they caught the ship that had the antimatter reactor
that
was fueled by Moscovium, maybe.
An antimatter reactor fueled by matter. Antimatter reactor fueled by an element that is just matter. That we've only been able to synthesize in like small, like half the stuff on Moscovium is like theoretical because we haven't been, it's one of those far-ended ones where like we have to smash like the universe together to make Moscovium.
But maybe the aliens already had that.
Yeah. But like it's an antimatter engine.
But maybe it was feeding into the antimatter.
I guess that would make
more
sense.
Antimatter, just constant, not more, but like.
Because matter, if matter and antimatter collide, it just sort of. So that could make sense. It
like a car, little explosions.
Yeah,
but
big
catastrophic
monumental catastrophic explosions. It's like having a supernova in your back seat.
Well, I mean, you gotta travel fast.
Maybe that's how you travel fast. The explosion doesn't even power it; just flings the ship,
flings you forward.
Yeah, that's great.
So around the reactors and the antimatter or whatever, you could just like toss like something even in the remote direction of the thing, and it would just smack right into it.
Like a giant magnet?
Like a giant magnet. Well, it would smack into it and bounce off.
It would both attract and repel objects.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right?
How does that work?
You're asking me?
That would mean like the energy, it would gravitate or magnetize towards the object, but once it reached a certain threshold, the energy output would be so powerful that it would have to fling back. Unless it's just made of like bouncy rubber. Doink, doink, doink.
Oh my god.
We're the worst. But yeah.
So
that's cool. I like that.
Lazar was later fired after being caught taking his friends out to the desert at night to watch test flights of the captured saucers.
I mean, you would. I would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go watch them.
I'm surprised they fired him and didn't just kill him. Make him disappear.
Or all of them, yeah.
All of that's probably why he's,
But I guess that's all the stuff we have on Area 51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cheesecake, I guess.
And cheesecake. Yeah, but before we go, I do want to address a couple things because we've received some friendly correspondence from our listeners.
Oh, how lovely!
I talked to you a bit about this, but we got a comment on our last or one before that. I believe this is our friend Scott. Mm-hmm. But under the username Stockst, that's STOCXT on YouTube. Who asked us if we had seen the movie The Island. Have you seen the movie The Island?
I have never seen The Island.
Have you heard about it?
I think you told me a little bit about it.
I did tell you a little bit about it.
I totally don't remember anything about it.
Okay, so this ties into... It must have been our previous one, because we were talking about clones and shit. It ties into the whole cloning thing, because The Island is a movie with Ewan McGregor. Mm-hmm. And it's about... a sort of a facility, an organization that produces clones for wealthy patrons, so that if they're damaged at all, if their organs are ruptured or whatever, they can get the clone, which have their exact organs grown in them because they're clones, and then just replace them. The clones are essentially organ harvesting material.
That's both awesome and really upsetting.
Really, yeah, but it ties into our previous episode.
It does.
I have seen this movie. I don't remember how good it is because I had to watch it in my high school chemistry class. I think it was like the end of the year, so we're like, we're gonna fucking watch the Island. I don't know why That's not what my teacher sounded like. But, I think it was an interesting... The idea behind it's really interesting. I liked it.
It is a very interesting idea. They did a more... there's like a movie about that, too. It's more, like, real, though. It's like My Sister's Keeper. They had a kid, like a first daughter or something, that had all kinds of problems. So they had a second kid, essentially, to have the exact same DNA as the older daughter in order to do, like, blood transfers or organ stuff.
That's messed up.
That's messed up because that's your own kid. At least this is just a clone.
Clones aren't people.
I mean, barely.
Well, they had like full sentience. Like they were individuals in that organization.
But like, why do that?
Because I think the way they explained it was that the reason why they couldn't just grow organs was because without like a human body to inhabit and grow within it, like they would just die after a while. Like the human body living a life was required for the organs to even function, because it's sort of like that idea, like if you don't use your muscles, they just deteriorate.
But why give it sentience? Why not just like throw them in a field and they can run around like
don't know.
Dogs?
Because watching Ewan McGregor the vegetable would be a very unhappy movie.
Well, it doesn't have to be a vegetable. Just like, essentially the brain of an animal, of a dog or something. Put him in a field, let him run around.
That would also be a weird movie to watch.
That way, it's a bunch of clones on like a farm. It's a clone farm, and their organs are human, and everything's all good, and their muscles are being developed because they're running around in the field and like doing farm work. But they're not. They don't have a human like consciousness.
I guess, but that would be even creepier to me for some reason. To see a human being without a thought of their own kind of disturbs me.
Yeah, but it'd be less sad to just like be like, hey,
here's the
you
thing.
Individual,
we've already
take your organs.
We've already come to the point where we can just grow organs. We don't need to clone whole people to do it.
Oh, there you go.
So we don't need that sad. But if
movie
we do,
fixed.
If we do, I'm not going to spoil anything because it was an interesting movie.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a watch.
I don't know how good it is, so be prepared to laugh. I remember enjoying it fairly well. But yeah, so I have seen The Island. Thank you for the comment, and thank you for listening to our show. I'm assuming it's Scott. Hi, Scott. How's it going? I could be wrong, in which case, hello, stranger.
Lee, who said these are my favorite. These are my favorite of the conspiracy theories. Well, we're glad.
Yay!
We're very happy to hear that.
Those were pretty fun.
And if Scott or Lee have any requests, we're more than happy to.
If you guys have ideas, we'd love to hear
out.
them. Yes. And then this is not a comment. This was not a comment. This was given to me by my friend Heather. She said that I found the thing on the internet. It's about the Bermuda Triangle, and you guys did an episode on the Bermuda Triangle, so here you go. And I was very thankful. Unfortunately, well, let me get into this, okay? So the article was about the reappearance of the SS Cotopaxi, which was a ship that went missing in, like, December of 1925. So it went missing in the Triangle region, and it reappeared a few years ago, like 2015... off the coast of Cuba.
What?
Yeah. So it came out of nowhere. It was thought to be missing. Although of course doing research, unfortunately, the biggest problem with this is that the original sourced article was from a satirical news website.
Oh, okay.
So it's fake.
Yeah.
It's 100% fake.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. However, because that would be really interesting.
The SS Cotopaxi was a real ship. It's a real ship that did go missing. All of its crew never heard from again.
Just hasn't been found.
It just hasn't been found.
Which, in essence, is the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle.
The one reason why I don't really like this one, though, why I kind of doubt its supernatural aspects, is that the last like message that they received from the Cotopaxi was that it was sinking. It was taking on water. So it could have just sunk.
Yeah.
Either way, the ship and the crew were never found again.
Or it was the Shars.
Or it was the Shars.
It will always.
It'll always be the Shars. But Nikki listens to our show. Nikki, thank you. We will not stop making these ever exclamation points, several of them, all caps, because I really like doing the show.
So you and I are very different people, because my visceral reaction was just like, don't tell me what to do. And you're like, oh, thank you, I won't. I love
because I know Nikki.
No, I'm just kidding, of course.
Also, I like it when people cheer us on. Like, I think that's very sweet.
It is so sweet. I was making a funny.
You're just being a funny.
I was making a funny.
I think you're funny.
Thank you.
But so everyone who has sent us messages and comments, we very much appreciate them. And if you guys want to keep a conversation going, we can keep doing this at the end of episodes. We can read some comments and emails and things.
Oh, and I want to give one more little shout out to a girl I went to military school with.
Ah, sweet.
Allie, I'm so glad that you like our podcast. If you have any suggestions for shows, please, Facebook me or email the show.
Oh, direct Facebook.
Directly DM me. You have that privilege.
And that goes for everyone who knows us. And even if you don't know us, you can still leave a comment on the video or email us at TheFoilHatBroadcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from it. Share with us your conspiracy theories or comments, or just ask us questions. We like answering questions, or at least I like answering questions.
I do too.
We like answering questions. And we'd love to hear from our lovely, lovely listeners. If you'd like to help out with the show, we greatly appreciate you spreading this show like the plague to all of your loved ones. Less grossly, hopefully. Don't spread the podcast through disease, but spread it through internet links. Share it with your friends, have them listen, and it'll help the show grow ever more, and will keep us going.
Which would be amazing, because
it's so much fun to do.
It's so much fun to do.
Even on off days like this, we always have a good time. And of course, I don't mean to be pushy, but we do have a Patreon page. If you want to help keep the show improving with better tech and audio conditions and
like a desk and an actual working microphone filter.
And other expensive things like food, you can help us out at patreon.com. There will be a link in the description. And even $1 from $1 a month from every subscriber would help us keep us on the way to making this show better and more entertaining for all of you.
Which is our overall goal.
Our overall goal is to make a fun show. But I think that about wraps it up.
I would say so.
All right. Well, so thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and government black helicopters. Good night.
Go to bed, kids.